Imagine stepping into the world of cricket, where the stories go beyond the boundaries of the pitch. We unravel the most captivating human tales, from that moment when a young star stands at the crossroads of their career, to a former coach's heartfelt tribute to his late father. But that's not all. A renowned cricket director lifts the veil on the high-stakes world of franchise management and shares the secrets behind spotting the superstars of tomorrow. Is Harry Brook, right now, being unfairly targeted for England's stumbling moments on the field? We delve into the story, drawing parallels with a young Ben Stokes. Could this be the crucial turning point for a future icon? Let's find out.
He's 26 years old. Ben Stokes was 26 when Stokes staggered into a club in Bristol in the autumn of 2017, and that moment defined, in some respects, Stokes' career, and what he did since was, in some ways, like a repudiation of everything, that all the mistakes that he'd made in that night and in the build-up to that night, and what you've seen post that moment is Stokes rebuilding his career in a substantial and powerful way. And I hope that Brook, while what happened in Christchurch, was it Christchurch or no, Wellington, is not quite on the same degree as what happened with Stokes, obviously, nonetheless, it's a pretty lamentable moment for him. And I hope that this can be the start of his, his redemption song and all the rest of it.
A former England coach opens his heart and shares an incredibly personal journey. He juggles the profound loss of his father with the relentless demands of his job, giving us a rare and moving glimpse into where real life meets professional sport. Truly a testament to the human spirit.
And part of the urge to get it done briskly was to get the copy into his dad's hands, because he feared that his dad might not make it to actually read the book. And he did. And Giles recounts the conversation they had after his dad had read it, which is a very, very beautiful and revealing chat, really, between the two of them, and how his dad said to him, well, your story is my story and my story is your story. So he said to Giles, this is like reading my own story back at me, which I thought was a beautiful way of putting it, really.
What really is the secret to crafting a championship team? A leading cricket director spills the beans, and spoiler, it's not all about sheer genius. It's about steering clear of dysfunction and spotting those crucial red flags in a player's character even before they sign on the dotted line. Interesting, right?
What makes a bad one? From afar, what makes a bad franchise?
Well, I'll answer that by saying what I think makes a bad environment or a bad team.
Yeah,
and one of the things that I'll often say that my staff will probably reference, and it sounds quite underwhelming to begin with, but I think one of the clues is being less dysfunctional than your opposition.
Okay.
And I think bad environments are just highly dysfunctional when it comes to the basics. So they make gross selection errors. They'll communicate poorly. They'll have misalignment or have lack of role clarity. Like it's the obvious things that any punter could probably notice. But those things take place. And in franchises where there's a lot of people, there's a lot of fan input clearly into how people feel. You might have interference from owners. You might have short-term decisions overriding longer-term ones, just because of the nature of franchise cricket. Like, dysfunction doesn't take long to emerge. So, yeah, I normally start with try and be less dysfunctional than your opposition, and then you do okay.
How do you spot the next cricket superstar before anyone else can? Mo Bobat, a master in the art of talent identification, breaks it all down for us. He explains the methods and insights into what makes a young player a talent that shouts. Fascinating, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, I'll cover a few things here, and apologies if I get a little bit technical and there's a bit of jargon.
No,
but essentially with talent ID, there's two things that I think are really important. You want to have a longitudinal perspective. So what I mean by that is you want to get a sense of a player over a long period of time, and you want to have a holistic perspective. You want to get a rounded picture of them, not just their skills. You want to see their character, their physicality, everything. So if you take those two principles in mind and then apply it to your question, I first got to see Jacob Bethel perform at about age 14, 15. He was quite dominant in the Bunbury Festival, and he might have even played a year young, if I remember rightly. But he was like one of the dominant players there. In fact, I remember getting asked to a dinner that he and his dad were at, which was the first time I met his dad, and got a sense of the cricket in his family. And that was when he was, I think, 15. So you get a good sense of him. And I would describe him as a talent that shouts. Like, you get some talent that whispers that you might miss. He's a talent that shouts. Like, I think if you've watched a little bit of him, he's not that hard to miss, right? So I don't pat myself on the back too much for having an eye on him.
Genius.
No, and I don't think anyone should, to be honest with you, because he's that good.
Well, Lara famously said, he's better than he was when he was a kid, when he first saw him in the nets.
And, in one of my previous roles, I would have overseen England's under-19 programme, and I got a chance to see the likes of, I don't know if I mentioned some names, like a Sam Curran, Saqib Mahmood, Dan Lawrence, Harry Brook, Will Jacks, Tom Banton. You kind of see that conveyor belt of players come through. So you're doing your own mapping and cross-referencing all the time.
Yeah.
How does he compare?
Yeah.
And he's every bit as good, if not better, than any of those guys that have come before. So I think we'll get to see that. And, it's no surprise England have backed him as much as they have, because he's going to be a very special player.
Back him at Perth, but never mind. You know him now. You probably know him very well. What kind of character is he, Jacob Bethel? I mean, he's clearly quite prodigious, because he's already able to peel off 100 in his second Ashes Test match. But what's he like off the pitch?
Just a solid, really nice kid. Is the reality of it. You can see that there's a lot of love and support in his family. His mum and dad were out at the IPL and got to know them a little bit more, which was really good fun. Just a solid guy, pretty rounded, solid guy. I think he's got real leadership potential because of his character. Wouldn't surprise me if he captains England in the future across formats. Yeah, but I mean, even in Test cricket, right, I think there's every bit about him that is impressive as a leader. He took to some of the RCB stuff really well. That's not easy to do.
From personal battles on the field to high-stakes decisions in the boardroom, the true essence of cricket is rooted in its human stories and the tireless quest for excellence. It's what makes the game more than just a sport.